Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Roundtable of Jacked and Canned. John, right before this thing started up, John tells me, he says, Colby, I got so many surprises for you. I can't wait. And all I can think to myself is he's probably just telling me that he's going to start this off with doing Who's on Top, and I'm going to be shocked. So go ahead, John.
Damn it. Well, that's exactly what I'm doing, but it's a more exciting Who's on Top. Because for the first time ever, the American Hockey League, Colbs. That's right. The
What?
AHL. The AHL, the Hartford Wolfpack, are going to be part of the conversation tonight. Why? Well, the main reason why is because I just recently saw a Hartford Wolfpack game. Amazing. It was awesome. Loved it.
Yeah, those are fun. I will admit that there's something about the minor league hockey circle that still looks almost like the pro circle. So it doesn't really look much different. Most things you can tell, like if you're watching a college football game or if you're watching like the XFL, you can tell that those players are not NFL guys. In the NHL, I never know when I'm watching the minor league teams. I'm like, they all look pretty good to me.
They're really good, man. And that's going to kick us off here with Who's on Top. The Atlantic Division in the AHL. Oh, my God. AHL. Why is that a tongue twister?
I don't know.
No, that's a good question. Let me take off the other earbud so I don't hear myself as feedback. Okay, there we go. Atlantic Division. The Hartford Wolfpack sitting on top over there. 22-12. I know the past couple of weeks I've been skipping on saying the OTL.
Wait,
guess what? They got 4 OTL. They got
up, John.
50 points.
When did they change back to the Wolfpack? I thought they had become the Connecticut Whale.
Wrong. Hartford Wolfpack. Ooh, that's why I gave the woo at the start.
I just don't know when they changed it back. I honestly thought that they were sticking with the Hartford Whale.
Dude, Hartford Wolfpack, they're sitting on top of the Atlantic Division. It has me so happy.
Yeah, I can tell. You're definitely a little bit too excited about the Wolfpack being on top in minor league hockey.
Well, I do have to make some honorable mentions. Second place, the Hershey Bears. I love that name.
What, from Hershey, Pennsylvania?
I'm thinking. I don't know if they are.
I don't know of another Hershey, so I guess that's probably limited on availability and options.
You know what, Colbs? I'm taking this over. I'm mentioning all the names, okay?
Okay.
The Springfield Thunderbirds.
Okay.
I'm waiting for your reaction.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, at this point, this is going to be one of these things. I've always noticed that the minor league teams, they come up with, like, so much cooler names than the professional teams. Like, they think about one of the most iconic franchises in all of the sports history, right? And that would be the New York Knickerbockers. What the hell was that guy? Whoever named that, what was he thinking when he came up with that name? Like, who with, well, actually, I guess Philly with the 76ers makes sense because they're doing a 1776 thing. But there's a lot of teams. Who made the Arizona Cardinals? Who decided that the Cardinal was incredibly intimidating? The Thunderbirds. That's a bird that you want to be worried about right there.
It's safe options. What the NFL went with, what the NHL went with, what the MLB went with.
So do these minor leagues. They just do it better. They pick cooler things.
I agree with you. So we get the Providence Bruins. We got the Charlotte Checkers. I don't know why. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's probably in reference to the NASCAR. Popularity. That's what I was aiming for with North Carolina.
Colbs, what I'm thinking, Charlotte Checkers, CC, conference call. Kind of cool.
Okay. That was not at all what I was thinking of by simply Charlotte Checkers. I didn't go, conference call. But so it's fine.
Colbs.
Yeah.
The Wilkes, help me out, please. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins? That's their full name. Seems a little crazy.
Okay. That one's kind of terrible. I'm assuming that's probably the affiliate for the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh no. How do I say this? Lehigh Valley Phantoms?
That's another thing that I love about these minor league teams. They put them in all towns that you don't know exist.
Yeah. And then
I don't know where that is. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Colbs, we got a special shout out here to another Connecticut team, the Bridgeport Islanders, sitting in last place.
I always forget that even is a team.
So, not me, because I pay attention to it, obviously.
Yeah, we've been talking nothing but AHL hockey for the last 2 years.
And I'm sorry about that. North Division. Now we're going to go back to who's on top. Sorry about that, ladies and gents. Utica Comets. Oh, wow. Okay, do we need any honorable mentions? No, we're going to skip those. All right, Central Division, the Chicago Wolves. I love it. I love that.
Are you really going to do the whole AHL right now?
In the Pacific Division, the Stockton Heat. So that's who's sitting on top over there in the AHL. Now, Colbs, I told you we have a surprise. NHL, real quick. Here we go. Who cares about the NHL? That's boring. Atlantic Division, the Panthers on top. Metropolitan Division, the Hurricanes on top. Big shout out over there to the Rangers at 30-13. Western Conference. We're not even going to mention records, Colbs, because who gives a damn? We care about the AHL, not the NHL. The Avalanche sitting on top. The Golden Knights sitting on top over there. But big shout out over there to the Seattle Kraken. 15-27 for OTL in 34 points.
The team that John is forcing me to be a fan of.
I am. Here is a big shocker. Bam, boom. Wow. I wish I threw up some cool graphic for the video watchers out there. But the Olympic Games, Colbs, Germany is sitting on top in the number 1 seed. Norway number 2, Sweden number 3, 4 the Netherlands, 5 China, 6 Austria, 7 Italy, 8 RCO. What the hell is that? The Republic of China?
To be honest with you, John, I wouldn't be able to tell you. If you start listing off any of these countries, unless it's like one of the main ones we grew up knowing, I have no information about it.
Colbs, the United States is number 10 with 1 gold medal, 2 silvers, 1 bronze in 7. I don't know. It looks like gold. Oh, that's a cumulative score. I was going to say 7 honorable mentions, but no, that was all together. So that's where we're sitting at for the Olympics. You got any takes on the Olympics, man?
I think you just fixed the Olympics, John. So the reason that I don't typically watch a whole ton of Olympic sports, especially in the winter, is because I am less interested in the majority of the games. But if they just start giving out honorable mention medals, I mean, there's something to that, John. I think you can really up the ante on what is entertainment in sports. And it's handing out trophies for just, hey, you're an honorable mention. You did pretty good, kid.
I agree with you. You know who else did good as a young one? Bam! Here we go. So we're going over to the NBA standings. This is
wolf.
I mean, we can't really talk about the NFL. So we're going over to the NBA. Eastern Conference. The Heat sitting over there, number 1 seed. Bucks, the Bulls, number 3. The Cavs, number 4.
Yeah, look at how much the Nets have fallen off.
Whoa, sitting at number 8.
Yeah.
Wow. 1-9 out of their last 10 games.
Yeah. They were just up there at the top of this.
What happened?
So Kevin Durant's been out for a little bit. I don't remember exactly what it was that he did. I know it was a leg injury. I just don't remember exactly what it was he did. But he's been out for the last couple of weeks now, maybe a little bit longer at this point. And Kyrie Irving, as I've told you, John, he only can play in road games because the state of New Jersey has it, or New York rather, has it set up to where they cannot play if they are not vaccinated. So Kyrie Irving does not play in the home games. He just plays in the road games. And honestly, I mean, yeah, Kyrie Irving's Kyrie Irving. I mean, he can ball, but when you're only playing in no more than half the games, plus he missed a good chunk of the beginning of the season because he just didn't feel like playing. And granted, there's more to it than that. There's more to it than he just didn't feel like playing. He's doing something that he believes in. I get it. But point of it being is you can see it affecting the play on the court. Like Kyrie Irving does not look like the same Kyrie Irving that I'm used to seeing. And James Harden, I mean, he does this thing sometimes where if things start going bad, he kind of checks out. And James Harden looks like he's starting to check out. And There's talks that he wants to go play in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid. So there's thoughts that maybe at the trade deadline, there's a Ben Simmons for James Harden trade. Then, maybe some other pieces around that too, because honestly, James Harden is, one of the elite offensive players in the NBA. Ben Simmons is a very good player, but he's not James Harden's level as far as what's going to propel your team to the ultimate success. Because when James Harden is on, James Harden is definitely a top 10 player in this league, might even be top 5. And I would lean towards saying that he is top 5. So that's part of what's going on with Brooklyn. The other piece to Brooklyn is that they just don't have much depth at all. Like, you get past the KD, James Harden, Kyrie part of their roster, and it's just an immediate drop off. You go down to Joe Harris is a good shooter, and Blake Griffin's Blake Griffin, but Blake Griffin really hasn't been that great since, honestly, probably when he was still a Clipper.
Hey, yeah, fair enough. Coles, why the hell? I mean, as me as a hopeful, and I'm sure some of our fans tuning in here, everybody knows the New York Knicks. Why do they fall off? Like, they look promising, and then they just gradually
they don't have down. You need one of two things to be a really good NBA team. And I can give a couple examples here. So you need to be a team that's built around a particular superstar, like you would see with Milwaukee with Giannis, like you would see with pretty much, with the exception of apparently this year, any team that LeBron's ever been on. It doesn't matter if the roster's crap for the most part. He usually just drags them to the finals anyway. And you get these guys that can just be absolute takeover a game, difference makers that just give you more wins based on simply that you have that guy. The other way to do a team in the NBA is that you just have full-blown team ball. You might remember a few years back, the Boston Celtics made it to the Eastern Conference Championship with Isaiah Thomas, the 5'9" point guard. He was mostly the team lead, and he was good, and he definitely a great shooter, but not anybody on that roster was phenomenal, but they had a lot of good. You had a young Jaylen Brown, actually, I don't even know if Jason Tatum was there or if that was his rookie year. They had all these pieces. They had one of the Morris brothers on the team. They had Marcus Smart. It was all depth, and they all played together. It wasn't about, hey, this guy's going to go out and put up 35, and then we're just going to get what we can get. It was team ball. You see it a lot with the Denver Nuggets. They play a lot that way. Utah plays a pretty good bit that way. So that's the two ways that you make one of these rosters work in the NBA. And the Knicks don't have really either. They're closer to that team play than they had been in the past, and that's what got them into the playoffs last year. But this year, it's just not working. And they got Julius Randle, who's, he's pretty touted as one of these guys that's going to be like franchise changing. He's not that. He's good, but he's not that. And Kemba Walker, I don't know what the hell happened to Kemba Walker, but he's coming off the bench now for them. Like, he's become that level of player where he's not even worth having in your starting lineup. Plus, he doesn't really play any defense.
Damn, Kemba. Well, they still got a chance sitting at the 12th seed. They really do. They're not that far out.
No, and you'll notice that in both the East and the West. Like, you look from like the 6th seed all the way to the 12th. And it's in both conferences where it's still relatively close. Granted, I think in the West, it might be a little bit more of a gap after, actually, I think the Lakers are like the last close team. I think they're currently 9th or 10th. I think they're 10th. So there it's a little bit further separated after them. But in the East, yeah, that shit's wide open.
Talking about the Lakers, Western Conference, number 1, Suns, 2 Warriors, 3 Grizzlies, 4 Jazz, 5 Mavs, 6 Nuggets, 7 Timberwolves, 8 Clippers. Number 9, Colbs, who is it?
Oh, is that where my Lakers are?
There you go. Number 10 is going to be the Pelicans. So the Lakers, Colbs, out of this, every single time in the Western Conference, I don't choose anyone else. So I'm going to throw you off. Colbs, the hell's going on with the Grizzlies?
Well, I'll start you off here. Ja Morant is good. Like, that kid can play, man. Coming out of college, I knew that he had some upside talent, and I thought that his ceiling was pretty high. But it is really high. Like that MFer can jump through the roof of the building. It's incredible to watch him play. He's really pretty much good at everything. And Memphis, now that they have their star, they've put the pieces around the star with the team. I mean, I wish that they could have had this John Morant guy back when they had like Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph, because they were running a whole team that way with Mike Conley running the point. Mike Conley was a good point guard. He was not John Morant. If you had John Morant with those two guys, oh my God, I think that would have been a dominant Memphis team. And you had Tony Allen on the wing defending. Oh, locking them down.
Hell yeah, man. Colbs, what's going on with the Lakers? Obviously, they still got a shot sitting at number
We
9.
benched Westbrook. He's like off and on, like where he's starting or coming off the bench. It just isn't working. They got to move off of something. But the thing is, John, is all of our guys are old, so you can't even trade them for anything. They're all players that nobody really wants. Like, what are you going to do? Trade Melo and get a nobody? Like, they need guys. I mean, Malik Monk, I will say, has come on. He's played very well for us. And honestly, I've been happy with Melo's output. I wouldn't want to get rid of Melo. I'm just giving an example when I bring up his name. But like, I thought I'd get more out of Dwight Howard, because 2 years ago on that championship team, he was very useful. I didn't really think I'd get much out of DeAndre Jordan, but I mean, it's been even less than I thought I'd get out of him. Russell Westbrook, I really didn't think it was going to work, but I thought it would be better than this. And, Anthony Davis just can't stay healthy. If he can, they got a shot at this point, John. Here's the funny thing. At the beginning of this season, or like a month in, I had said to you, I was like, man, I just don't think I have a championship level team on any of my teams. I think the Lakers are my best shot. Now I'm not even sure if they're going to make the playoffs, man. Like, legitimately, realistically speaking, I don't know if the Lakers are going to be a playoff team, and that really pisses me off. And it's not like I'm pissed at the Lakers. I'm just pissed because I want them to be there. I want them to be in the conversation at the very end of the season. And I don't see a way that, even if they get in, I don't see how they get out of the first round.
Colbs, I did end up putting on a bet on the Lakers winning the championship.
Did you?
Yeah. I think I put down 50 cents, and the odds are so stacked against them where I think it
John,
pays like.
Just put down $5. Worst thing that happens, you lose $5. You know how much more you win if you put down 5 and it hits?
Here's a funny story for you. So, Winter Olympics, women's ice hockey.
Are you betting? Are you betting the Olympics?
Winter Olympics, women's ice hockey. I don't remember who it was. Czech Republic. I don't really remember, but I saw that the odds were so stacked against whoever this underdog was. I bet 50 cents, and I won $8.
Now imagine if you had bet $5, you'd have $80.
Oh, damn!
That's a steak dinner.
Oh, Colbs. Because I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how can people even analyze the Winter Olympics when this team really isn't playing? Like, they're just
to be honest with you, John, that would be a fun place to just drop money on random stuff. Because
yes.
I mean, what else are you going to do? It's not like, what do you think in our spare time we're actually out there watching different Czech Republic women's hockey teams? Like, that's just something we do. We got it on the Ocho. Like,
that's what I mean. It's
we don't know anything about them.
Like, how is this even being evaluated? I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's the best part, John, is now you get to the guys in Vegas that have to come up with these lines, and they're like, I mean, yeah, they have their hands in with the experts there that give them an idea of how it should go, but it's not like there's a bunch of dedicated people that work in the casino line industry that are like, oh, I'm the Czech Republic's women's hockey team guy. Like, there's not really a lot of that in Vegas. It's all NFL and NBA guys.
If you are that guy and the Czech Republic ended up winning, even though they were the severe underdogs, you're fired. Vegas ain't calling you back. Because if I put 50 cents down and I won $8, Colbs, I mean, you know what I mean? I was pumped. I'm excited. I'm running on victory. I'm flying high. My name is John Falco. I'm not a falcon. I'm a Falco. Join me.
Dude, you good or?
Yeah, I'm a little excited because I did just watch the movie The Replacements the other night. And
again?
No. It's still in my mind.
I was gonna say you'd watch it like right before we recorded last week.
Yeah, Night of the Museum is still in my head. Longest Yard is still in my head, and the replacements. So I'm a little fired
But
up.
that's it. He's only got space for 3 at a time. The
Yeah.
whenever he watches a movie next, one of those 3 is getting bumped out.
No, they're getting deleted. Delete. Alt Control. Delete.
Well, John, do you know who's on top in the NFL?
The Rams are winning easily.
Yeah, actually, John, I do think the Rams are going to end up winning this game, but I wanted to just talk a little bit about this game with you because I mean it's coming up and it's funny. Up until we were about to start record, or probably like an hour ago, it didn't hit me how close we actually are to the game. I'm sitting here kind of with last week with that dry lull from the Pro Bowl that, John turned off the Pro Bowl. John was like, I can't watch the damn Pro Bowl. So,
Colts, it was the
yeah.
worst game I've ever seen. And I was like, I was a little interested and I was like, yeah, let me check it out. It'd be cool to see a couple of I don't know, superstars maybe connecting with each other. So in the future, maybe they could request some trades, work together, that kind of thing. Form a championship team in a bootleg way. Well, Colbs, what I saw was something completely different. It was guys like I don't know the defense, the offensive line, defensive line. Nobody was really trying. Um, no tackles were really made. I don't understand the point of a Pro Bowl. I don't. That's just me.
No, and I think a lot of it has to do with the tradition of the game being played all together, just because a lot of teams they always enjoyed that experience. But as we've gotten into an era where if anybody gets hurt, it's actually like detrimental to them, especially at the end of the year. Because say, for example, you're trying and you tear your ACL in the Pro Bowl, and you might not make it back till week 6 next year. Like that's a real thing that people worry about. And I understand it. Point of it being is I think at this point they should do away with the game and they should just make it where they essentially announce who the players that would have made the Pro Bowl would be. Because here's the other thing. Guys like so for example, this year, Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins both end up being considered Pro Bowlers, even though they weren't originally voted onto the team. It was just because Tom Brady retired and Aaron Rodgers didn't want to play in it, I think. So they end up having these alternate Pro Bowlers, and it's like, well, why this guy can now put on his resume that that he played in a Pro Bowl. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like it just have it be the names of the guys that should have been like your nominated all stars and don't play a game because nobody gives a shit. The players don't give a shit. The fans clearly don't give a shit. I mean, John, you get excited about damn near anything. John texts me, I'm at work. John says, I can't watch this, Cold. I got to get out of here.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. It was one of those games that I was like, you know what? I can't waste any time. I turned it on for like 2 minutes. I saw the way people were tackling each other, and it looked like two-hand touch football. And I was like, this
Yeah,
is not football.
it essentially becomes that. And John, what I was alluding to is that after we had that phenomenal divisional round and then the conference championship round that was very good, not as good as the divisional round. That was the best. That was the best football we've had all year. But we've had 2 very great weeks of football. And then last week we had no football. I'm just considering that no football was played. And it took till just now for me to realize, oh shit, Super Bowl's in like 3-4 days. This is
Yeah.
awesome. All right, let's get ramped back up. John, I hadn't even considered it. I hadn't written down much of anything as far as any thoughts about this game. I just figured we could talk it out together a little bit because I mean, we can't we can't go week of the Super Bowl without talking about the Super Bowl.
That's actually a valid point. Um, all right, so my take on it before I kick it over to you for a more of a
Yeah.
professional take. The Rams all day long. I'm thinking as a surprise Super Bowl MVP is going to be Odell Beckham. That's my
Okay.
take. Okay. Not junior, senior. He's gonna come from the
Oh.
stands. He's gonna give a clothesline from hell like Kane or the Undertaker. He's gonna take somebody out. He's gonna go, my son, I told you he was done in Cleveland. He's here now. No, I'm only kidding. Odell Beckham Jr., he's gonna get it done. He's gonna be the Super Bowl MVP. I don't think it's gonna be Cup because he's gonna be, I don't know. They're gonna be paying so much attention to him. They're gonna say, shut down Cup.
Well,
All
you
right.
say that, John, but That's what every team's been doing all season, and Cooper Kupp's still somehow there by himself at all times.
Valid.
Like, I feel like he's got an invisibility cloak or some shit. Like, he's just, like, roaming around out there and nobody can see him. The thing is a lot of people assume that he's smaller than he is. He's like 6'3" or 6'4".
Yeah.
He's not a
Yeah.
small guy, and
No.
I mean, he's not particularly fast. He's not particularly anything other than a phenomenal route runner with great hands. I just don't know why he's always by himself. It just
Because
it's
he's that good.
mind-boggling.
Because he's that good, Colbs. When you're that good at something, when you're Michael Jordan, when you're LeBron James, when you're Alex Rodriguez,
Yeah, but those guys have
you from
things
that
that they
one.
were just better at physically than
really.
everybody else.
when you're Ken Griffey Jr. and you're swinging the bat lefty style, boom. He
Often
made it
talked
look
about
so
as the
easy.
best swing in baseball.
Yes,
of all
because he
time.
made it. It was so easy. It was just
Yes, but that's a physical attribute. Cooper Kupp doesn't have one of those.
What do you mean physical attribute? Ken Griffey Jr. didn't have a physical attribute of
Yes,
swinging
he
the
did.
bat.
That
good.
bat swing.
Because he made it look so average.
But that's
why,
what, John. Oh my God. But that is what a physical attribute is.
That's fine. Cooper Kupp does the same thing. He makes it look average. He makes it look so Colbs can get up there and go run a hot route on the audible play. Colbs 92, Colbs 93.
It
And
just
then in the
stems
middle,
from things
you get a little
different
hot
than
sauce.
those other guys you mentioned. All those other guys have something that nobody else has. Cooper Kupp is just somehow open. It's not because he outran you.
Because he's that good. I promise you.
It
Colbs,
can't be just that he's that good.
He
There
is
has to be a
that
thing.
damn good.
No, there has to be a
good.
thing, John. It can't just be, no, he's just that good.
He's that good.
No,
I'm buying
refuse to
you
buy
tickets.
this.
Seattle Seahawks and the Rams. You're going to go there.
I don't think
You're
I
going to
wanna
sit
see
on
that
the
game.
field. You're going to sit right on the field. Okay.
They're just going to plan me out there. I'm going to be eating a meal on the helmet.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I can't afford the rest of the meal. So it's going to be like a Happy Meal from McDonald's. And you're going to pretend.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right. So with that said, you're going to see just how electric he is. He doesn't seem
He's
like
not electric.
He is. He is. He is damn electric. He is so electric. He's an eel.
At best, he's
Just
fat.
imagine being dude, Colbs, you're in the ocean. You're floating along. You're like, yeah, I'm on my little Colbs train. You're chilling. You're hanging. You're having a margarita. You're relaxing.
I'm floating on a train in the ocean, huh?
Well, on the Colbs train, that's what's different. The Colbs train is different. A CT.
Get on the train.
So when you're in that ocean, Colbs, you're going to have, okay, an electric eel come up and bam, zap you. It's going to be a jellyfish. Bam, zap you. And then all of a sudden, you're going to have a Magikarp come up like Pokemon. Splash, 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 splash right by you. Boom, you're going to be blinded. The next thing you're going to see, boom, Cooper Kupp is wide open. Why? Because Magikarp just blinded the hell out of you.
So that's
He's
Cooper
wide
Kupp's
open.
ability. He is a Magikarp that comes out along with a series of other electric animals from the wildlife of the ocean
Colbs,
that all come out there and sting people.
what motion does referees do like this? What does this mean?
That would either be that it's a touchdown or that the field goal is good.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know which one it is. But either way, it's a score. And it's points scored. It's game over. And it's an automatic win. Rams all day. Colbs, I'm kicking off the camera off of me. Get away from me. Colbs, what the hell you got to say?
What I got to say, John, is that I do agree with you that the Rams are going to win. I actually don't hate your pick for Odell Beckham Jr. being MVP. We do see from time to time a receiver take the MVP of that if it is, in fact, a game where the quarterback might have had a good game, but if there's one receiver that's just absolutely dominating the field, then oftentimes they'll just give it to the receiver over the quarterback. We actually got to see one of Tom Brady's Super Bowls go that way back in, I believe, 2003. Deion Branch won the Super Bowl MVP. So I wouldn't be shocked to see if that were to be the case. Granted, if I was picking who the MVP is going to be, I'd lean towards Stafford or Kupp, but I really don't hate your prediction on that. I mean, what I really see when I look at this game is that, and I know I'd stated it last week, but Joe Burrow got sacked more than any other quarterback in football this year, 51 times. And when you're talking about guys like Aaron Donald, Von Miller, and those are the big names that get in there, they've got other guys that not necessarily get in there and make the sacks, but they are sack creators in that they absorb some of the blockers that could be there to double and triple the Aaron Donalds and the Von Millers. Yet in there, I am very curious to see what the matchup of Jalen Ramsey and Jamar Chase is going to look like, because that's what's believed to be the current best corner in the NFL. But in today's NFL, the corner doesn't have the distinct advantages they used to. So there's really no such thing as just a total lockdown guy anymore. I actually think the last one of those we saw was Richard Sherman. And even though Jalen Ramsey's very good, I don't think he's quite what Richard Sherman was when Richard Sherman was at his peak. So I'm curious to see how that matchup goes. I lean towards the offense in all scenarios, though. I really think the difference is going to be that Joe Burrow is going to have to make the decision in 2 seconds where that ball's going every play. And even though it's worked for him the majority of the year, keep in mind that the Bengals were not one of these teams that went like 13-4. They didn't look incredibly dominant. They weren't even sure they were making the playoffs until, pretty much, actually, I think they got in there by their win in either the last week or with 1 week left. So I think that the Rams are ultimately going to be the better team here. I do want the Bengals to win this. I will be rooting for the Bengals here. And I know that a lot of people are picking the Bengals, and I think it's just because they like the Bengals. I don't think here's what you see with the Super Bowl, John. You see all the average sports fans come out of the woodworks to give their takes, not guys that actually really sit down and watch games on a regular basis, because this is an event. This is the Kentucky Derby of football. This is something where millions upon millions upon millions of people are going to be watching. So they fall for it where they just say, you know what? The Bengals are the fun team. So they'll just start picking them. And, whatever good that does or doesn't do, I couldn't give a shit less. But a lot of people like the Bengals here. I think that it's just smarter to go with the Rams because I think that they're a more proven commodity.
Colbs, just looking at the Rams, I just want to point this out. Kupp, 25 receptions in the postseason so far. Odell Beckham, 19 receptions. That might kind of blow some people's minds right now. They probably would have figured Higbee would have been above that or Jefferson would have been above that. But no, Odell is that close when it comes to reception. So
Odell worked his way into that offense just fine. That doesn't surprise me that he's there. I'm actually a little bit surprised that Cooper Kupp's numbers are that low as far as catches, considering that he's now played in 1, 2, 3 games. I mean, that's just over 8 catches a game. So, I mean, for him, that seems a little bit on the lower side. I would have thought that he would have been a little bit higher there, but the playoffs come, and I know that coming into the playoffs, they got Cam Akers back, which that obviously means that they were going to run the ball more, so a little bit less aerial attack from that team. But, yeah, I'm excited, man. This is going to be good.
It's going to be a freaking awesome time, dude.
I just hope that the game stays close the whole way through. Or even if it starts out with one team up by 17 points, I hope that there's the comeback and it actually gets right there. I want a close ass down to the wire game. I just want the end of football season to be the finale that we want. It's not the teams that I wanted, neither side. However, I am good with it. They are both fun enough as teams that I am cool with watching this.
Same here. So, ladies and gents, enjoy the Super Bowl. jackandcan@gmail.com. Write to us. Who do you want to win? All right. Stay tuned for a regular episode. Colbs, this has been another episode of
Jacked and Canned.